here from the blog theduvallhomestead.com, where I write about farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living, and today I'm going to share with you how to make homemade apple pie. Nothing quite like homemade apple pie to bring over to someone's house during fall to welcome the season and to provide a delicious and healthy treat. I like to make apple pie with sourdough crust, and I will leave a link for the recipe for the crust below in the description of this video. I'm sharing this recipe in collaboration with Emily from The Country Cook over on YouTube. She is sharing a delicious butternut squash lasagna main dish recipe that would go perfect before this apple pie, so make sure you go check that out on YouTube after this. I will leave the link below. So for the pie crust, first you're going to, in a small food processor, you're going to combine 1 1/3 cup flour, half a teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 2 sticks of cold butter right out of the fridge. You want your butter to stay really cold, so you want to work really quickly with this. Try not to touch the butter too much. I have a small food processor here, so I'm doing mine in a half batch, but if you have a larger food processor, you can do it all in one. So then you add your sourdough starter to the food processor. If you are new to sourdough starter, you can get the recipe for how to make your own on my blog. I'll leave the link below. Combine until the butter is about pea size and shape. Next, you want to get some ice cold water, and you're going to take about 2 to 4 tablespoons of that to just combine your dough and keep it nice and cool. Then wrap the dough in a BPA-free plastic and just put it in the fridge for 4 hours or overnight. Alright, now we're going to start making our apple mixture for the apple pie. I have my Dutch oven here because this is my favorite thing to use on the stove for apple pie mixture to cook the apples in. Okay, so we're going to cut up 4 large apples. Now I have 2 large apples here and a medium, and so I'm going to add 2 small. And these are also different varieties of apples. I like to mix up the varieties. It gives the pie a nice mix of sweet and sour and tangy. First, you're going to want to skin your apples. Now, you can actually do this without skinning if you don't mind the skins in the pie. It gives the pie more fiber, so it's totally okay if you want to leave the skins on. Then you're going to slice up your apples. The size you slice them really depends on what you want in your pie. So if you want big slices, then do bigger slices. If you want it really mushy like applesauce, you would do a mince. I like to do something in the middle. Then I'm going to heat up my apple mixture in my cast iron Dutch oven pan. I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of butter, add the apple slices, about 3 tablespoons of honey. Local raw is always best. Add a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and about a teaspoon of vanilla. Next, you're going to add about 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm also going to add a drop of lemon essential oil. You can also squeeze a half a lemon. Going to give that a good stir. And just let all of those flavors blend together. Simmer for about 10 minutes or so on low just to get all of the flavors in the apples. You don't want to go too long because you're going to lose a lot of your water. And then you want to just turn your heat off and take the pot away from the burner and let this cool for a little bit. Alright, next we're going to make our pie dough. You only want to pull it out of the fridge right before you're ready to roll it because you do want to keep it pretty cold. So So grab some flour and clear off a station, and we're gonna make some pie crust. First, make sure you have a large clean area, and you're gonna sprinkle flour on your counter. Countertops work best because they're nice and cool. You wanna divide your dough in half, and then you're going to start rolling out your dough. You're going to need a lot of flour, and constantly be checking the bottom of the dough to make sure that it's not getting stuck to your counter. Big amount of flour nearby for when you need it. Measuring to see how close I'm at. I'm pretty darn close. So I just preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I'm going to line my pie dish with some coconut oil. I'm trying to work quickly because I don't want the crust to get stuck to the counter. I just grab some coconut oil on a paper towel and rub it onto the dish. I just kind of go around with my fingers, and if there's excess in one place, I pull it off and put it in another. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the top crust on this anyway, so I'm not super concerned with this bottom part right now if it doesn't look perfect. So next I'm going to add the apple pie filling to the bottom of the pie. Next it's time to roll out the second piece of dough. And you're just going to gently set the crust on top of the pie that you just made. And then for this type of pie top, I'm going to do the traditional kind of squeezing the ends method. You can also do a lattice crust top, which is like the lines that are kind of crossed. And I have a tutorial for that on a blog post about blackberry pie. Okay, the final step is to coat the top of the pie crust with an egg. This will really crystallize the crust and add a really nice flavor. Alright, so you're just going to bake that for 60 minutes total at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, but 30 minutes through, set a timer for 30 minutes. 30 minutes through, put some tinfoil, aluminum foil over the top of the pie. This will help prevent the crust from burning. Alright, well that's it. That's your apple pie. Thank you so much for watching this video and for cooking your sourdough apple pie with me. If you do not have a sourdough starter, or you are new to the sourdough world and wondering why would I make a sourdough pie crust, I will leave a few links in the video description box below about sourdough starter and why we use sourdough at our house for bread products. And when you're done here, make sure you check out the butternut squash lasagna by Emily from The Country Cook. If you're new to my page, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and like on Facebook. Every week I post new farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living from our homestead in Duvall. Thanks so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.